Hello, my crafty friend, and thank you so much for tuning in and joining me in today's flip through of the most magical book I have ever seen in my entire life. So I know I'm building this up, but it's worth the build up. It's worth the hype. You're going to see why this is so spectacular. So, of course, if you're familiar with her art, you're already recognizing the artistry here and probably identifying the talented, lovely artist. It is, of course, oh, obviously it's in the video title, so you don't even need to know. This was painted by my dear friend and my biggest inspiration for journals that I've made all year, Kat Stone. So Kat, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is the most, like I said, the most magical book I've ever held. It made me feel instantly like an excited little girl the moment I opened it, just like how I felt the first time I held one of your paper doll books. So yeah, starting with the cover, she paints the most gorgeous model looking women you can imagine, and they always have kind of a mystical vibe to them, which is what I love so much. So the woman on this cover, she's not only beautiful, but she's also heavily adorned with just the most magical jewelry. So look at this beaded headdress with kind of an emerald between her brows, and these earrings with long strands of golden beads that end in little turquoise drops. Like, oh, it had me. It had me at the cover. This little detail here, you know how I love adding jewelry to my journals, and Kat does that expertly. I've never seen anything like this. It's the cutest little thing. It's a little rain cloud made of blue rhinestones, and it actually has little water drops falling from it. They look like little aquamarines and sapphires. They're just so mystical. Pardon me for hitting the stand. And there's the dragonflies. Oh, just gorgeous. And the back is interesting. I've had this exact piece of paper in my stash in the past, and I used it up in journals that I made to sell. And then I kind of regretted not having any. So Kat, how did you know? It's perfect, as always. But the cover is just the beginning. Wait until you see what she put inside this masterpiece. So I'm going to try to keep everything in the frame here. We've got our first paper doll. Isn't she lovely? She's named Sola on the back. And then there's a beautiful little writing. I'm not going to read this entire thing, but you might want to take a screenshot or pause the video if you'd like to read it. It's all about how magical and mystical it feels to wear a cape. The way we see superheroes in capes, and draping yourself in that fabric just makes you feel a certain way. But the detail in the face of this beautiful, beautiful woman with her gorgeous emerald earrings. Anyway, spectacular, as always. Wait till you see the genius of this paper doll, though. So just when I thought I'd seen all the ways they can wear dresses, Kat comes up with this new innovation that utilizes the cape that the lady is wearing as the holder for the dress. And so she's cut these gorgeous dresses out of all different types of khadi paper, like this pretty embossed gold. She's adorned it with a little dragonfly brooch, all the different colors. They're just magnificent. So yeah, this is just so clever and so creative. Who wouldn't want to wear a fancy outfit like that? So yeah, Kat, she just has magic in her hands. Everything she makes winds up looking just enchanted. I love the way she's held the dresses in place using this heavily beaded trim. Her Japanese fabric selection is always extraordinary. That dragon charm glued to the top, so perfect. And of course, there's a huge variety of dresses for Sola to wear. And I love the butterflies and butterfly wing themes all throughout the book. I'm going to try to go a little bit quickly so that this isn't a 6-hour-long flip through. So I will be putting these back into their little pockets after. But just how sweet is that? The silver dress she wore on the first page, it's like that same sort of paper, but this time more golden with that pretty gold leaf. I love the fussy cut girl reading her Japanese. Oh, okay. So I'll put Sola back for a moment, and now we come to Stella. By the way, the names that Kat gave to these dolls are all my favorite names for girls. Sola for sun, Luna for moon, Stella for star, Celeste for celestial, Venus for, of course, the planet of love. So yeah, she has gone through and named these dolls, all my favorite names. And what's cool is that of all the dolls, this one is my favorite. And she specifically asked, what are my favorite girls' names? Which is my #1 favorite. My #1 favorite was Stella. And it's like she knew that this would be my favorite doll because she named this doll Stella. So yeah, Stella is wearing this gorgeous dress. But who's gonna notice the dress with a body like that? Oh my goodness. And the cutest little thing about her is that she even has a little one-piece bathing suit. How adorable. I would never have thought of doing bathing suits for the paper dolls. But yeah, every outfit is just spectacular. This bright, bright yellow. I want to point out this is all hand-drawn detail. Like Kat does the coolest little swirls and spirals. This might just be my favorite of her dresses. There's something so cool. It's like it's dripping fire at the bottom. But yeah, each one is just a work of art. Truly a work of art. I'm already, my wheels are already turning about how these could be turned into printable kits and how would I figure out how to put them together myself to do a version of this. And I just know there's other crafty ladies out there who would adore such a doll, such a paper doll. This might be my favorite dress. It's a close tie between both of these. Just magical looking dresses. But yeah, I just love them. I think it's really cool how synchronicities happen in the craft world when you're connected to other crafters who are making beautiful things, and when you're in this happy mail sort of a community of people who like to surprise each other with cool handcrafted things and cool gifts, because my theme for the year had already sort of been a celestial theme. Here's our doll called Celeste. And the sun, the moon, and the stars are very important to me because I love stargazing and watching the sunsets and connecting to astrology even. So it's just so cool that all these dolls are named after celestial bodies, and that the bracelet May sent me is sun, moon, and stars. So it really is, to me, when things like that align, it's such a good sign that we're in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. And speaking of May, the dress that Celeste is wearing is made from some of the gorgeous fabric that May gifted me from Saudi Arabia. And I had included a piece of that along with a journal that Kat brought from me. So it's amazing to see what she's done with it. The way the swirls in that pattern naturally follow the shape of her figure. It's just so cool. And look at her headdress. Just pure magic. The details Kat does, like from the beads in her hair all the way down to her ankle bracelets and her little cute shoes. It's just so magical. Oh, right, and then the next dress, she's got this cute little mini skirt sort of a thing. So adorable. And then we also have the Luna doll. So Celeste and Luna are the same size and shape, which means their clothing can be interchangeable between the two of them, which is pretty cool. They're twinning, similar haircuts too. But I thought this was absolutely brilliant of Kat because it's kind of like the dress can have a ruffled over layer or like an overskirt. So I'm going to leave Celeste there and take Luna through the next few pages of beautiful things. My favorite color, this bright kind of turquoise. Oh, just so pretty. It feels funny to me to be doing a flip through video after having done my 12 days of gifts to make videos that required me to be crafting as I speak. And at first it was really hard to craft while speaking, but I got used to it. And it's funny because now I find I'm struggling to play with paper dolls and explain this beautiful art while speaking. Look at that gorgeousness. Yeah. Celeste and Luna. Again, that beaded headdress is just spectacular. Here we have Venus. Venus also in that same size. So I'm going to put Celeste back. Yeah, look at those colors. Every shade of turquoise and blue, I can say, is my favorite colors. It's just, that's why I always wear my blue topaz and my iolite and my turquoise. Wow. Just stunning. There's that favorite paper of mine again. So yeah, you can see why I talked this up as the most magical book I've ever held in my hands. I love the way she did this. Look at how she has fussy cut the bird out of the paper, out of the pattern on this fabric. It's just so cool. So cool. The butterflies used throughout as tuck spots, I'm definitely going to copy that idea in some of my future journals. That's right, and she did that again on this one. The fussy cut bird. So cool. Yeah, what I love about Kat's paper dolls is that you can feel the love she puts into them. You can tell it's not a mass-produced thing. It's not a chore for her to make. Like, you can feel that it's an artist's creation and not just a craft. You know, there's a lot of opinions out there. Look at this with the bell. Just that beautiful shape to this dress. Oh, I love it. Yeah, a lot of people like to try to define or to explain the difference between art and craft. And for me, I feel like a craft is something that you make because it's useful, following instructions that were, you know, made up by somebody else, like following a cross-stitch pattern to make a tea towel. To me, that's a craft. Or like knitting a scarf and following the knitting pattern, that's a craft. Maybe making a junk journal out of all printables, following somebody else's tutorial, that could be like a craft. But when craft becomes, in my opinion, fine art or high art, it's when crafting techniques are used to make something completely original and one of a kind and like nothing else out there. I just love these little bathing suits. The bathing suit and the little cute little flower dress, just so adorable. And I also think it's so sweet that Kat, of course, knows that I'm a cat lover, just as she is, just as my other friend May is. We're all the crafty cat ladies. And so it's so cute that she put a little pair of kitties that are just the right size for the paper doll. I love that. Here we've got our glamour girl pink. Maybe the paper doll is jumping on the Barbie trend. No way. Much more glamorous and elegant than a Barbie. How cool is this one with the added kind of like a waist belt, but made out of this wrapped blue gemstone? I'm trying to get the camera to show how cute that is. But yeah, there's nothing more magical than something that was handmade with love just for you. It's a very, very special feeling to hold these. And later, today or possibly tomorrow, depending on the lighting, I'm going to film a video flipping through the journal I made for Kat. And I can only hope that it makes her feel half as excited and special and magical as I felt opening this gorgeous paper doll book. So this fabric here, this was another fabric that I sent her some in a package. Let's see, I'm looking to see if I have any nearby. I've got tons of that stuff. It's one of my favorites. But the way she made it into this dress and then took a deeper shade of pink or a red pen and drew the lines that show the fabric moving, it makes it look 3D, even though it's a flat piece of fabric. Just so cool. You can tell she's a fashion designer because she knows the way fabric drapes and moves, and it's just so gorgeous. Everything she's done. And I love these ones with the butterflies on top. So, so cool. I like how the pattern on this dress matches the paper here, but in a smaller version. It's so cool. And Kat wrote a beautiful little story about fairies that I'm going to read the next time I do a flip through video of a fairy journal. I read it out loud yesterday when I found it. So when I went through her Happy Mail, there was an envelope that contained a story, a typed out story that she wrote. And I set that envelope aside and decided I will read it when I have time to read the whole thing instead of starting it and finishing it later. And so yesterday I had some time and I asked my boyfriend, should I read this to myself or should I read it out loud? And he said, oh, read it out loud. I want to hear it too. So I read her story out loud about the fairies and it made both of us tear up. It was that good. And so the butterflies are really significant because they also play a role in her fairy story, which you'll hear. But aren't these so cool? Here again, she's done some fussy cutting. Oops, glad that didn't break. I'll be careful putting this back in. But again, she did some fussy cutting of the beautiful, colorful bird that's on this fabric. And it just looks so cool, adorning the dress. And it's also really fun that she's put these little paper doll sized cocktail umbrellas in throughout the pages. So this one's really cool. In one of the flip through videos of Kat's beautiful dolls, I had mentioned that she could be a fashion designer because the outfits look like things women would actually want to wear in real life. And she sent me a message showing me that she did actually have a line of jeans that she designed, and some of the handbags that are held and painted in the doll's hands, she's actually made handbags that have those designs painted on them by hand. So it's really, really cool. She's a true Renaissance woman, like a master of so many different artistic trades. So having this really gorgeous outfit with the most beautiful turquoise necklace. Look at that necklace. I would love to wear that necklace. And the Bluebird of Happiness. I definitely notice all the little details she puts in. The charm hanging from her waist with the matching turquoise colored gem, the bright pink shoes to match the pink in the bag and the pink in her top. Oh, it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And what a cool book. I love that each page is a different background color, and the way she's added the fabrics to them. She did that with the original book she gave me too, and it's just so cool. I love the variety of colors too. Like each dress is so unique. Some of them are more glamour, others are a little bit more casual, like the jeans, but even the casual outfits are stunningly beautiful and just look like they're out of a fantasy. Speaking of a fantasy, here we go. Look at this dress. And I love the fan that she's holding too. So, oh my goodness, this beautiful background that she's printed here, it's one of the designs I made for one of my future paper doll books. So you probably saw me flip through the tall, slim, like fairy or like paper doll's journey through Fantasyland book that I just made. So yeah, this is a digital design I came up with for the next version of that. But of course I sent Kat the files early because they are completely made for and inspired by her paper dolls. So it's cool. This is the first time I've ever seen this design actually printed. And the mystical doorway with the draping fabrics and the bright lanterns and the fairy lights in the background. It's just absolutely perfect for this doll. And the coolest thing here, so the dress she made for this doll is like a flower if you flip it over. So there's the petals and there's the base of the flower. Very, very cool that she included this because it is just like something that I put in her journal that she doesn't know about yet. So I'm not going to say more than that, but it's such a cool synchronicity that she included that. See how she made a piece of jewelry by fussy cutting one of the flowers and then putting some dimensional silver paint in it? Just adorable. I feel like a broken record because I keep saying the same things over and over. Magical, adorable, beautiful. But that's what they are. There's another little flower dress. And I love how the colors of the dresses coordinate with the colors of the paper. It's just so special. Kat, like the words thank you are far too small to tell you how grateful I am for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of my favorite fabrics ever. And then the very last doll on the very last page is just the queen of all the fairies. She is wearing the sweetest little fairy dress ever, made of these purple leaves and the butterfly. And then in the back, her wings can be moved around because they're also magnetic. It's one of these cool butterfly cards made into fairy wings. Just a genius. She's just a genius. So there's Venus. Again, so cool. I guess there's Venusian sisters. Is that how you'd call it? Venus. So cool though. And I also adore the way she signed the journal. Instead of writing on just anything, she wrote, of course, on a little pretty pink butterfly. So yeah, this is the most magical book I have ever been blessed to hold and to put on display and to play with. And you better believe I have been playing with it. It's just unbelievably spectacular. I feel so blessed and so lucky and so grateful to have this in my collection. I hope my flip through did justice to the magnificence. I hope the camera picked up all the little details because to behold this book in person is just a breathtaking, wonderful experience. One of these popped out. So yeah, like I said, I'll put everything back in its place off camera, but I just had to share this with you. I'm stepping away for a second. just so I can show you some other little sweet goodies that I found in her package. Look at these hand-painted, hand-drawn elements that would just look stunning, adorning a book page. Like, let me find a plain page here. Paper, paper everywhere, but not a single page intact. Here's one. Okay, so here's a page that I printed from my printable kit of antique lithographs. So imagine this page was in a journal. How cool would it look to have something like that glued here and here as a tuck spot? And of course I would not glue down her original artwork, but if these were printed on a heavy cardstock, for example, like the little fishies jumping in the waves. Oh, it's so cute. Again, like that could be a little tuck spot with a mermaid doll behind it. Oh, they're just stunning. And the pink lotuses. Pink lotuses are very significant to me because I have a tattoo of a pink lotus on my back. And my boyfriend Kenley has a tattoo of a lotus also. So seeing two lotuses together, that looks like one for him and one for me. And then these little beauties. So if you're one of my subscribers or you've seen some of my videos before, I always put a bluebird of happiness in every journal that I make. How cute is it that Kat designed and painted these adorable little bluebirds of happiness? I love the way she made the little leaf, the frame for the word. I love just how cute they all turned out. And the prints are so good. It's almost indistinguishable, the print from the original. So thank you so much, Kat. I treasure these. I will treasure this in my own personal junk journal. And the little prints that you made, I will put in just very special journals. I know I'm going to put one in a journal for May. And the other two, we'll see, because they're just so special. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. I don't see why you wouldn't unless I was annoying in it, but as long as you had those visuals to look at, I'm sure it was fun. So stay tuned because the next video that I publish is either going to be the prize draw for the winners of my, actually no, that might have already happened by the time you see this one. Forget it, just stay tuned because there's more beauty coming. So much love to you. Happy crafting until next time. Bye for now.